Thank you for inviting me here today. Thanks to John Adams Institute for organizing this event. I'm glad the Dutch are accepting both refugees and exiles, which I am, as you can guess. Also, I feel here closer to home than from New York, where I live, when I hear that every speaker, profoundly says Kasparov, which is a Russian pronunciation, while Americans always say Kasparov. I understand that, just for many of you, I am still best known for chess, which has the Dutch defense, than for politics, where I'm more concerned about the lack of Dutch offense. I was told by a young woman listener yesterday at a smaller event that, quote, "Your message is depressing, Mr. Kasparov, but I'm not depressed because of how you said it." I will take that to heart here today. I don't want to scare or depress anyone. The book is called Winter is Coming, but please don't blame the weatherman for a dark forecast. I hope to share my analysis and my experiences and my opinions, and your reaction is entirely up to you. I'd like to begin with an interesting anniversary before moving on to the book and to current events in Russia, Europe, and the Middle East. It's an example that reflects a little of how I like to see the world. A year ago, today, on December 12, 2014, the price of a barrel of oil dropped below $60 a barrel for the first time in 5 years. For the most of the industrialized world, this was good news, promising cheaper fuel. I wrote at the time that while celebrating, we should also be very cautious on the international front. Many of the world's most repressive regimes depend on high energy prices to maintain internal stability, including Putin's Russia. With oil dropping so low, these dictators would need to find other ways to justify the eternal grip on power and the typical recipe: foreign aggression. Putin had already spent most of that year invading eastern Ukraine, but I wrote he will soon need a new front. Contrary to Putin's expectations, the Ukrainians had fought very hard, and if he continued there, the price in Russian lives lost there would get too high. The Baltics, another possible direction of his attack, would be even riskier because NATO had already begun preparations there. So I was thinking south, to the Caucasus. And Putin did go south, but even further, all the way to Syria. It should not have been such a surprise, since the Middle East has so many of the ingredients Putin is always interested in: gas, oil, key pipelines. Second, the Russian naval base to, quote-unquote, protect from outside enemies.